Okay, to start off with, well, this is going to be messy. Uh, so we're starting off with the cool colours. These are the best ones that I had, and I mixed those up. I also mixed up the warmer colours. Because I have a limited amount of time to do all of this. Okay, so please ignore the animal sounds, it's because I'm doing this outside. And the birds are doing their absolute best to be a menace at the moment. So you start off putting your primary colours in their little sections, and I would recommend starting off by doing this so that you know a bit more about the colours that you have yourself. So the crimson is actually a little too light compared to the others, so we're going to stick a little bit more paint in there, and the blue is a little bit too thick, so we're going to add some water. Alright, we're going to go back in for the crimson, and that looks pretty much the same, honestly. Just gonna grab some into here. Look, this is gonna be a mess. I'm not good at this. I've never done it before. So, a lot of the time when I'm doing things, I will stick things in my mouth because I only have two hands. And sometimes you just need a little bit extra holding power. Still a little bit light, but it'll do. Okay. So, to start off with, you grab a little bit of your crimson and another little bit of your crimson, and then you add, nearly forgot to mix that up, one part of your blue. And now I possibly should have gotten like 10,000 other brushes for this, but luckily I have about 10,000 other brushes. I have 2 parts red. So 2 parts red goes there. Probably should have started off with something different, but that's fine. And then we go 1 part red, 1 part blue. That's a little bit more red than blue. Please ignore my lovely neighbours. I hope you can hear any of this, honestly, because I don't know how to do a voiceover. And this is much of a mess already. Always have a good mixing spot there. It's important. And then we go, yes, 2 parts blue and, oh, that's the wrong red, 1 part red. And yeah, this does get a little bit chaotic. Usually one does it slower, but I have less time to do this before the camera shuts off. So please excuse the messiness that is this. And you know, myself in general. Okay. Then we go 2 parts. Oh no, we'll go 1 part blue and 1 part yellow. And that goes in the middle here. And it does this green. And then if we add another part of blue, I should have grabbed some paper towel. Paper towel is always useful. Always useful. That was 2 parts blue, wasn't it? Oh goodness, I hope so. I did tell you I wasn't good at this. This is also not drying very fast. If you want to dry it faster, a good way to do that is a hairdryer, but again it can change the way that it dries. I say again like I've told you this before. Sorry. Basically, the warm and the cool changes the colours, obviously. Oh, I'm a dumbass. It changes the shades and variety of colours that you can make. So we go 1 part red, 1 part yellow, mixy mixy. For example, crimson is a lot better for making pinks than vermilion is. Because as you can see, it's a bit of a pinky red. That also means that it's technically better for making purple, in my opinion. Now we're going to add a little bit more yellow to make that 2 parts yellow. Mixy, mixy, mixy. Washing your brush between colours is important because, well, they mix. So, then I'm actually going to do a really cheeky thing, and I'm going to just add 2 parts of red to this, so that I don't have to use another one of the holes, because I'm running out of holes. Ta-da! There's your cool colours. And rinsing, rinsing, rinsing. Now, shit. It's okay, I did it on the other one. I'm just gonna move this so that it doesn't get all over this one. Oh, I forgot the lines. Shoot, nuggets. 1. Yeah, I know, I don't have a ruler, I forgot to bring one down. That's why everything is so uneven. But you should have about 12 of these. pretty doodads. And I'm going to pretend that I look super organized. So man, I'm great at spelling. 1, 2, 3, there. We've got the, I'm just going to call this yellow. Technically this color is fast light yellow, because why not? Russian blue. Sweet, here we go again. So we're going to start with the yellow. This is a bit of a fancy brush. Do I know what it's used for? Nope, absolutely no clue. But it's a nice brush. Yeah, it just kind of looks fancy. I'm sure it's good for like angles and stuff. Like points and stuff. Look, the main thing is that the different things are good for different things. It's good for different colors. Like, if you look at this red, it's a little bit lighter than blood. It's a very light blood color, which is a weird thing to say, I reckon. And we're gonna go 1 part red, 1 part yellow, a little bit more yellow. There's my mixie do. As I said, you should do this with your own colours. It's a good way to figure out what they do and which colours you like to mix them with. You know, just play around with it really. 2 parts yellow. I feel like the vermilion makes a much nicer orange than the crimson. Because it is technically a yellow or red, if that makes sense. And man, these 3 look exactly the same. I don't know why. Sometimes it just does things and you don't know why. It's one of the things about watercolours. You never quite have complete control over it, which is one of the reasons I like it, if I'm honest. It makes me take a bit of a step back and stop being such a perfectionist, which is difficult for me. A little bit of red, a little bit of blue. That was a little too little of blue. There we go. That's about half. And you'll see it makes a very different purple. This one actually looks close to black, if I'm honest. Like a blue-black. This blue might be a little too dark, if I'm honest. Too dark for what we want. I guess the warm form chart are typically more what you would expect of the traditional primary colours. A lot brighter, but in my opinion, I prefer cool colours. I just think they're nicer, but again, that is my opinion and it depends on what kind of vibe you're going for. Now we're going to go through with the blue and the yellow. I think that's more yellow than blue. Just keep that there. Another great thing about watercolour is well, it doesn't really dry on you. I mean, it does, but then you just add water and look, it's watercolours again. You can't really do that as much with other paints, like acrylic. Acrylic tends to dry and then you can't do anything really. It just turns into goop. But you know, like, they do make very different colours, and of course you can mix and match, because everyone can mix and match. That's how life is. It's one of the beauties of life, if I'm honest. Just have a little fun. But for now, there we go. Those are the two colour wheels that I've done quickly for you. Give you a better look at them. As I said, personally you get a better purple colour with the crimson and lighter blue, and I also quite like those greens there. I'm not a big fan of orange, but I do think that the crimson and bolder yellow have a nicer orange than the crimson and the yellow up here. But again, you get some very nice greens here, and in my opinion the purple area, like, that's a nice maroon, but it's not very nice purples. But again, even if you add like a little bit of this blue, which is the ultramarine, and then a little bit of the crimson, I don't think that actually made a very nice colour. You know, but it makes different colours, and you can make the different colours do different things. That's all I've really got today, but I also think that these colours were a little thicker than those ones, so that changes things a bit. Yeah, this is Liz signing off, and I hope you have a great day.